Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our special board meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order now and invite Trustee McKinley, please, to do the land acknowledgement.
Thank you. We acknowledge that we are on land and surrounded by water originally inhabited by indigenous peoples who have traveled this area since time immemorial. This territory is within the lands honored by the Wampum Treaties agreements between the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Lenni, Lenape, and allied nations to peacefully share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. Specifically, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Huron-Wendat peoples and the Three Fires Confederacy, Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture while remaining committed to moving forward respectfully with all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis.
Thank you very much. For attendance, we have Trustee Nelson, who is away and not able to attend the meeting tonight, so I'd like a motion to accept her absence. Trustee Burgess, Trustee McCowie, all those in support? That's carried. Thank you very much. Approval of the agenda. Trustee Leclerc, Trustee Buckler, all those in support? It's carried. Thank you very much. Do we have any declarations of conflict of interest? No. Seeing none, I do need a motion to convene into private committee of the whole closed session. Trustee Cook, Trustee McCowie, All those in support? It's carried. Thank you. We need to recess now, move into closed session for approximately half an hour. Okay, maybe less. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm going to call the meeting back to order. We're on item H, which is new business, trustee code of conduct. This is... Oh, yeah, we had a motion. Sorry. Rise and report from committee of the whole, closed section. Trustee Buckler,
Yes, I move item G, personnel.
seconded by trustee Leclerc. All those in support? Any opposed? Thank you. That's carried. So the new business is a trustee code of conduct. This is the final step that's required in our procedure. You've received from trustee Armstrong a response from the decisions of the board with regard to findings of the breaches of the code of conduct as well as sanctions. And the first thing that I'd like to do is ask for the trustees' motion whether or not to confirm or revoke the determination that there were breaches of the code. And I can help you with wording like I did last time so that we make sure that we capture everything. So if someone is prepared to make a motion, I can help you with the wording. Trustee Buckler?
I move to confirm the breaches of the code of conduct.
To confirm. So this is how the motion would read, and then I'll ask for a seconder. So in accordance with the GECDSB regulation RGB06, Trustee Code of Conduct, and the applicable sections of the Ontario Education Act as it read immediately before January 1, 2025, and taking into consideration the written response from Trustee Nancy Armstrong, the Board of Trustees confirm the determination that the conduct of Trustee Armstrong in relation to her appearance on That Kingsville podcast, published on YouTube on August 3rd, 2024, was in breach of sections 3, 6, 14, 23, and 24 of the Trustee Code of Conduct. Is there a seconder? Trustee Leclerc? So now on the motion with regard to confirming the decision that was made earlier, Trustee Chin?
I want to make comments. Yeah. Is that okay? Yes. Yeah. I think as we all know that Trustee Armstrong is very responsible, and he has very sincere and heart with honesty, integrity, and I believe she just try to solve the conflict. And I'm not saying that it's good for her to speak the content. Actually, I watched the video. Most of the content are very sincere, and I think it's factual. But I think she also always said that she's new, and she wants to know if she can speak or not. She always asks many times. So I believe she is still learning, and I think she is forgivable. And as far as the extent of the sanction,
We're not discussing the sanctions right now?
you are okay. Okay, maybe I can wait for the sanction.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So we require a 2/3 vote to carry this motion. That would be 6 trustees out of 8. Policy requires 2/3. You're looking at me. Do you have a question?
So, yeah, I do have a question. So this matter was already discussed, and this is a re-examination as a result of the letter. So you're indicating that did we need 2/3 on the original? Okay, so why do you need 2/3 on the affirmation? I don't think
Because
that's
the policy says so. I checked it.
okay. I don't think that's accurate, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's appropriate or accurate. But that's fine.
This is what it says. Okay. Anyone else on the motion to confirm the original decision? Nope. Okay, all those in support? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's carried. So that's okay. Thank you. It's still carried. So we have confirmed the finding. And the next thing would be to consider the sanctions. And as you know from Trustee Armstrong's response, she has accepted to attend restorative justice, and she's asking us to reconsider the decision with regard to the banning from private session meetings from now until the end of her term. So I would like to make a motion in consideration of the response from Trustee Armstrong. I would move that we, and I'll speak to it after I make it if I get a seconder, that we revoke banning from all private session meetings until the end of the term and replace it with banning from all public, private, special, and committee of the whole meetings to the end of this calendar year, with the exception of the annual organizational meeting. Trustee McKinley?
For clarification, when you say the end of this calendar year, you're talking about the school year, which goes from September till August, or a regular, not our calendar?
Our calendar, Mayor.
Okay.
To the end of December.
Until the end of December. Okay, just clarifying that.
Trustee Leclerc?
For clarification, you've added public meetings in.
I've changed it.
It
The
sounded
original sanction was banning from all private session meetings until the end of the term.
Yep.
Okay.
You just said.
I'm asking that it be changed to all meetings from now until the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, so you've added in public.
Yep.
And you shorten the term. That's my point.
Yes.
You've added in public. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. I might leave that. So if there's no seconder, we can move on. Trustee Cook. So I'll speak to it. So I remember that when the motion came up, suggesting that as a sanction we ban Trustee Armstrong from private session meetings from now until the end of the term. I had a hard time with that one, and I had to pause in the voting because I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go, and we needed one more vote for it to pass. And at the end, I decided to support it because I think the investigator's report clearly explains to us that there was a breach of confidentiality, and I take that very seriously. However, on reflection and taking into consideration Trustee Armstrong's letter, I'm not sure that banning Trustee Armstrong from now until for the next year and a half till the end of our term, I'm not sure how that will serve any purpose other than to be punitive for the fact that there were significant breaches. I think that what I have proposed, I think, is a little bit more serious, in that it includes all public, private, special, and committee of the whole meetings. And I think that it may make better understanding between the Board of Trustees and Trustee Armstrong with regard to the seriousness of the breaches. So that's why I'm proposing this change. Trustee Burgess and Trustee Leclerc.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I guess through you, it's your motion, but through you. I was going to suggest keeping status quo, and there was a reason that has not changed to me since receiving the appeal from Trustee Armstrong. But there was something I was going to suggest, and I'm very grateful that an acceptance has come for restorative justice, because I think that that will definitely help towards healing. And I was going to suggest that during that process, when that process is on, I'd be more than willing to enter a motion to adopt something, to move something previously adopted. In other words, you can amend any motion of the board that's been previously made with notice. And so within this next, till the end of the term, through restorative justice, if I can, or we, can see a real commitment, a demonstrated commitment towards understanding what confidentiality is, and that confidentiality is under the Education Act. It's not a little bylaw or something that's just truly ethical. It actually risks the security of the board. That through the restorative justice practice, there might be a time, and it may come by December of 2025, that a motion could go forward to amend something previously adopted, like the term of the exclusion from the confidential meetings. But because of the nature of the breaches of confidentiality, and some of them are really egregious, there has to be some sort of demonstration of an understanding of what, because what I've heard, and it was demonstrated and it was in the report, that there was a real fundamental non-understanding of what a breach of confidentiality was. It was done, I would say, unwittingly, but the fact is our duty calls upon us to understand what confidentiality is and why it's necessary. So I don't support your motion because I don't know if it would teach anything while the restorative justice process is on about understanding confidentiality. I understand, I think, what you're trying to achieve, and I do. I think I understand it. So, but I don't support it because I don't think that banning from regular board meetings where nothing is confidentially shared. If something is said in a public meeting that is disclosed that is confidential, I think that's when we call that out. But it's really the confidential piece that is the thing that has to be proven, because there's been, unlike previous comments about newness, we're in our third year of a term, and going into a publicly elected position, you need to know what confidentiality is. And I think that that will come to that arrangement, will come to that understanding.
Thank you, Trustee Burgess. I would just like to point out that this doesn't come under the what you referred to about amending a motion previously adopted. In this code of conduct process, this is the opportunity to confirm, revoke, or vary any decision that was made at the initial meeting upon review of the response from the trustee. What you can do is if you have made a decision for a sanction, you could also have that sanction stayed pending the reconsideration of the board of the determination of sanction. So I guess the other alternative would be to stay the sanction, the original sanction. My motion is to revoke the original sanction and to vary it to the way that I have suggested. But
Point
Trustee
for
Leclerc
information.
wanted to speak.
So point for information on that, because I don't quite understand the difference between, because my understanding is that we can amend any motion made by the board, and this motion
Trustee,
is,
I'm going to refer you to the policy of the
Right.
trustee code of conduct. So it's very explicit on
about
what we can
staying
do.
a sanction.
Yes, very explicit. Trustee Leclerc?
Thank you. So my original intent was to basically sustain the original sanction. I'm still at that position, and I'll explain why. One, I think the proposal that you've put forward is in fact punitive, as opposed to the original not being punitive. And let me explain that. The breaches themselves were related to in-camera confidentiality. Okay. And the risk to the board for breaches of in-camera confidentiality is much more substantive than code of conduct breach in the public realm. And so I think by eliminating Trustee Armstrong, sorry, that's wrong. That's an improper room. I have no intention of eliminating you, Trustee Armstrong. By removing her from public meetings, I think is punitive. I do support the original position because of, I think, the risk to the board that there may be further breaches to the confidentiality, and having Trustee Armstrong not able to participate in public meetings, I think is it's punitive, and I think it's harmful. I know Trustee Armstrong talked about transparency and in the board, and I think Trustee Armstrong can be effective in the public board realm space, and but I am concerned about further breaches moving forward. So I don't think I would support um, the removal from public meetings. So with that, I think I would prefer to confirm the original. Thank you.
Oh, Trustee Chin?
Oh, thank you. I partly agree with Trustee Roundclear. I think removing Trustee Armstrong from public meeting is punitive, and because of my experience, I observed other pay more attention on other boards, and there are very serious, how to say that, breaches, and the maximum is not more than 3 months private meetings, and some are, more serious than this is just 1 month or 2 times, 3 times, and based on the provincial government's guideline, they have a new law, and it's also mentioned that it should not be punitive, is not more than 3 months. And based on the character of the incidents, actually, before Trustee Armstrong make any comments, it's already, big conflict in the community, and caused a lot of chaos. I don't think Trustee Armstrong affected, the extent for this chaos much, because it's already there, and there are many speakers there, and the people are here, and Trustee Armstrong just, kind of make comments. So I don't think all the disasters result is caused by Trustee Armstrong, and I do believe that we have different opinions, and we should respect different opinions. And if we have enough chance to speak on the board, and nobody would like to go to the media to speak, why the reason we go to media is because we are silenced here, and we were not, allowed to debate. No, we were not allowed to debate. That's the fact. So I think both trustees did that. It's out of the reason, and as a board, and it's more important to keep your board reputation more than certain confidentiality. You have to protect your reputation. Yeah, I'm not saying wrong things. Yeah, I think we protect our reputation more than, fighting with each other. And I really don't think, I still don't understand why this happened. It shouldn't have happened.
Trustee Chin, I'm just going to explain why it happened, because we have a policy that governs trustee behavior. Whether you agree with it or not, it's the law of Ontario, and we're obligated to uphold it. We're obligated to follow it as trustees. So that's why it happened.
Yeah.
So
Can I make comments?
we're gonna move on, but I want to point out that one of the points that you made in the new trustee code of conduct, the period of sanctions can't exceed 90 days. I'd like you to keep that into consideration, because if this went to judicial review, the fact that we have banned Trustee Cook from all private session meetings until the end of the term could be
Armstrong.
Trustee Armstrong, what did I say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you're done. Sorry. Trustee Armstrong could be found as excessive. And what I'm suggesting covers that 90-day period. There's only 3 board meetings, October, November, and December.
But no public meeting, please.
So what I'm suggesting is the private meetings are special meetings of the board. They aren't regular meetings. They aren't scheduled every month. They are as needed. But you've stipulated a very long length of time, which would probably not hold up under judicial review, is what I've been advised when I inquired. So that's another reason why I've asked for the reconsideration to vary the sanction. But it's up to you. It's not my decision alone.
My suggestion is that based on other boards, what they did, they didn't sanction them from the public meeting. Most of them just a private meeting.
Trustee Chin, we don't have that information here to share, so
it's Waterloo. So, you can check the trustees how much they breached.
So
yeah.
So you, Trustee Leclerc?
Yeah. So I'd like to make a point of order. Madam Chair, you said there would be no point of orders. No. So when a member requests a point of order, it has to be recognized. It absolutely must be recognized. That's Robert's rules. So the person who's speaking is suspended from speaking, and the point of order has to be recognized by the chair. So I tried to make a point of order, and I would like to make the point that Trustee Chin's comments that members of this board go to the media because they're silenced is inappropriate and out of order. And I believe that Trustee Burgess had a point of order that she wanted to make. And I'm saying this with respect because you know that I respect the chair. But, when a member goes offside, they have to be reined in.
But it has become habitual now that every time Trustee Chin tries to express herself, there's always a point of order. So
correct. Point of order. She said that members of this board go to the media when they're not authorized to do so, because we have a policy that says who goes to the media, and that they do that because they're silenced. If I bring a point of order, it's because the member is out of order. So Trustee Chin needs to learn how to provide her position without going out of order.
Trustee Chin, that point was out of order.
Yeah, I I oppose that. I think that
No. You don't. You can't oppose that. It's
I-
our bylaws, and it's
point of order.
No, you don't.
Madam Chair, you can
Stop
always
this.
appeal the order. You can
Stop
always
this.
appeal it.
I'm asking all the trustees to stop this, and we're just going to speak to whether or not you want to support this motion. If there's no more discussion on this motion, I'm going to call for the vote. So on this motion specifically, Trustee McKinley, is this on the motion?
Oh, it was. It was to ask you to call the question on voting right
Okay.
away.
All right. Okay.
What's on the floor?
To revoke the decision banning Trustee Armstrong from all private session meetings until the end of the term and confirm banning Trustee Armstrong from all public, private, special, and committee of the whole meetings to the end of this calendar year, with the exception of the annual organizational meeting.
Oh, I have a motion.
No, you don't have a motion, Trustee Chin. Stop it.
So-
You need to learn the rules and you need to follow them like everybody else. There is a motion on the floor that's been moved and seconded. All those in support? Oh, no. Sorry, Trustee McKinley?
Sorry, I do have a question before I vote. Would that vote, approving your motion, mean that the restorative justice would not happen? It would still go
It's
ahead?
part of the reason why I've changed my mind. Because
Okay.
Trustee Armstrong has agreed to restorative justice and she's asked us to reconsider the banning from private meetings till the end of the year. So I'm responding to that letter, which is what we're supposed to be doing tonight.
For further clarification, does your motion also exclude her from the committees that she's currently on?
Nope. Just board meetings.
Okay.
Moved and seconded. All those in support? 2. Okay, that motion is defeated. Trustee Leclerc?
I have a motion, and the motion would be to confirm the original sanction.
Seconder, Trustee Burgess. Any discussion? Trustee Burgess?
I just wanted to confirm that, through you, Madam Chair, that I think that I'm grateful for the restorative justice, and that is part of the original sanction. And the previous motion on the floor didn't necessarily make that clear that that was part of the revocation, and I appreciate you clarifying that. So that's solid. I also appreciate the fact that there is an opportunity, and I will see what it is about staying a sanction. And but for right now, because there has been no demonstrated proof of growth in the area of understanding when there is a breach of confidentiality, I support the status quo. And I hope that the RJ process can, and the staying a sanction can maybe shorten that. But as far as the judicial review, et cetera, that has been raised in a previous discussion, we, as you started this part of our agenda, is we are covered under a previous time when this was brought forward. So we were under different rules. So I think this is quite in order. Thanks.
Trustee Chin on the motion?
Oh, yes. I think regarding this, chaos events, and we have 2 trustees broke that. And but for Trustee Armstrong, she particularly get much more serious, punitive sanctions. I wonder if it's fair for her, and also, I think for our board's reputation, she already accepted the how to say that? Restorative justice. It shows that she accepted that she did something maybe unsuitable and she wants to correct it, to communicate, to talk. And this, reflect how she, consider this mistake. Everybody have mistake, and we as a board should show our, generosity and kindness to a trustee who was the first time to make the mistake. And we already saw the media, the Windsor Star called question why so many trustees got sanctioned and why it's so long time, so punitive. We need to give the public community a gesture that we take care of those trustees, and they made mistake out of a good intention, and he accepted the mistake. We give them chance to correct it. And I to the end of the session is kind of, I don't know how to say that, for how to say, reasoner, for a person who commit crime, and it's kind of the highest punishment. I don't agree with that. So I would, if I can, I would like to make a motion to
Oh, there's already a motion on the floor?
supplemental,
No?
make a, how to say,
No?
I'm sorry, I don't know much about these rules, so but I want to make something on that, on the motion to
Amend?
amend the motion to request trustee Armstrong to join the sorry,
She already is.
yeah, put that in the motion.
No, that's not an amendment.
Okay, then my motion is to
No motion. No motion.
my
We already have a motion on the floor. The
amendment,
motion,
amendment, sorry, amendment that we just ban her from now to the end of the year for the private meeting.
okay.
And
It's the time period she's referring to.
yeah, I mean not
That's
public
an amendment.
meeting and no others.
That's an amendment.
Yeah, that's amendment. Yeah, just
okay.
yeah.
Do we have a seconder for the amendment changing the time period from the end of the term to the end of the year?
I think
Is that your amendment?
yeah, I think it's similar with Trustee Ronclier suggested.
No, it's not. But I'm going to second it, the amendment.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Yeah.
Would anyone like to speak on the amendment? No.
Can I speak?
You did. So we're going to
I
take
just
the
speak.
vote.
Yeah.
So we're going to vote on the amendment. Okay. All those in support of the amendment that changes the time period from the end of the term to the end of the calendar year. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 6. That fails. Okay. So back to the main motion. All those in support of the banning from the private session meetings until the end of the term. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That fails. I'm voting against, sorry. So, pardon? No. Our responsibility is to respond to the letter from Trustee Armstrong. And that's what I've done. So, right. So the only sanction right now is the censure and the request for restorative justice, unless someone puts something else on the floor. Trustee Burgess?
Our quorum has changed, I think. I would put it forward that we have sanctions for restorative justice until next March. Sorry, we would have exclusion from private session until next March.
What, point of order. I think is this legal? Follow the policy, cause we already voted. we already voted, and you can keep on changing the time. It's endless.
Sanction. Sorry, we still have the right to make a decision on the sanction. So Trustee Burgess has suggested that we vary the banning from all private session meetings. We vary it from instead of the end of the term, it is to the end of March. And that's been seconded by Trustee Buckler and Trustee Burgess. You can speak. Sorry, Trustee Burgess. Go ahead.
The reason I would change it is because I think that to lose the exclusion from private session is wrong. We have not entered into restorative justice yet, where there I think will be a learning curve and hopefully acceptance and understanding of what confidentiality is. By the end of March, I'm hoping that there be significant progress in that area so that Trustee Armstrong could go into the rest of the end of the school year meetings fully informed. And that could mean updates that are of a personnel or staffing nature, labor negotiations, you know, things that affect budget things, so that when the budget comes, you're fully informed. That's a leap of faith. That's a leap of faith. I do it hesitantly because I want to see progress. So that's why I picked that date.
Trustee Cook, then Trustee McKinley.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, I have a question. Like, I don't know. I'm just getting kind of worried here that we just got to get something in there. But one, I hear about, well, hopefully we make progress. Who's going to evaluate the progress? Who's evaluating Trustee Armstrong? Like, yes, Trustee Armstrong, you did what I wanted you to do. Now you get to go to private session, or nope, I didn't hear what I wanted, so you're still out. Who does that? I'm not asking Trustee Burgess. I'm directing it to the chair. Thank you.
So it's obviously a rhetorical question because I can't answer that because I don't think anybody is here to sit in judgment of that restorative justice process.
So I would hope that everybody just heard what Chair Hatfield said. Who's the judge? Excuse me, I'm speaking, and I really have a problem with sidebars here all the time. All the time. I'm speaking, but I hope everybody here thinks about it because no one's in judgment here. No one is going to evaluate Trustee Armstrong in the restorative justice process. So that in itself, there's a problem in that when someone is saying, we will see how it goes.
Point of order.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to leave. I was going to give a recorded vote before I leave on the motion. I will support it.
Is there any more discussion on the motion? Are you going to vote?
The vote's not even here. I don't think you can walk out and vote on your way out.
So all those in support? Trustee McKinley or Trustee Burgess, we're going to lose our majority and then we're not going to be able to do anything.
My understanding is that a facilitator facilitates understanding. So when I say progress and understanding, that's something that everybody collectively can recognize.
Okay. All those in support of changing the time frame to the end of March. All those in support. McKinley, Buckler, Burgess. 1, 2, 3. We need 5. That's failed. Thank you. Trustee Burgess?
What is our quorum and what do we need to pass 2/3? Because I would put another motion on the floor.
We have 7 people for quorum.
It's 4.
So 4.
So I would put a motion forward that we have Trustee Armstrong be absented from any in-camera meetings until the end of the calendar year, which is only portion of what a previous motion on the floor was.
Point of order, it
did
has been
find-
defeated.
So,
Trustee Chen.
So-
Trustee
Point of
Chen.
order.
so
just
the
let-
chair is chairing. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So it's a motion
New motion.
to,
Is to change the
vary,
time frame
right?
to the end of the calendar year.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a seconder for that? Trustee Buckler. So it's the same motion from private session until the end of the year. So we need,
So,
many?
yeah. 3.
many? we need how many? 4. 4. We need 4 in support. Trustee Chin, did you want to speak to the motion?
I guess I'm not as the mover.
It's exactly the same motion that I made, and it was defeated.
You didn't make a motion that was
Okay.
voted.
Oh,
So all those in support of banning from private session meetings until the end of the calendar year. 3. 1, 2, 3. Nope, that fails. Well, we haven't confirmed our original motion, so it doesn't stand. So, yep. Sorry?
Can we move just the original motion with the restorative
It's already
justice?
been-
Restorative justice stands?
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
Okay.
This
So
is
the original
just-
motion is what? I
There's
put
no
a full
motion right
motion
now.
on.
There is no motion right now. Restorative justice hasn't changed. It was just the banning from private meetings. And all we've discussed are different timelines. Unless I hear a motion in the next few seconds, then that,
I'll make a motion.
sure, Trustee Cook?
I'll make a motion that Trustee Armstrong is, everybody's using the word banned, from private sessions until the end of this year. No, well,
yeah. Yeah, we were finished, I think.
So then,
Yeah.
then we need to, I think, revoke the original decision because it failed. So, yeah, Trustee, yeah,
I'll
Trustee
make a
Cook.
motion. Trustee Armstrong is banned from private sessions until the end of November 2025.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that? Trustee Burgess. Okay. Okay, all right. So Trustee Burgess,
Thank you, Madam Chair. That would have done the same thing because your original motion that was on the floor accepted the organizational meeting, which I've always had a concern with, but I think that is great. It gives enough time for RJ to happen so that we can have some understanding as well.
the motion on the floor is to ban Trustee Armstrong from private session meetings until the end of November 2025. All those in support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's carried. And I believe that's the end of our agenda. So thank you very much for your time, and I will call the meeting adjourned.